Lochner v. New York was decided in 1905, and it begins what's known as the Lochner era. And the Lochner era is about a 30-year period where the U.S. Supreme Court, under the doctrine of substantive due process, strikes down regulations passed by the government attempting to regulate or intervene in the free market. That's as simple as I can put it. And the U.S. Supreme Court started this with the Lochner case. And they did it by finding within the 14th Amendment of the U.S. Constitution, finding in the Due Process Clause that not only does it embrace procedural due process, but it also embraces the concept of substantive due process. Now, substantive due process is a concept that says there are certain rights, certain liberties that we have sort of as a natural human being that can't be infringed. And one of them is our freedom to contract, our liberty of contract. So they found that right within substantive due process and used it to strike down a regulation on the number of hours a baker could work in the Lochner case. Now, Lochner involved a baker who was letting his employees work, 100 hours a week. Well, the law limited them to 60 hours a week. Now, this law was pushed forward through by the unionized bakers. And supposedly they were concerned for the welfare of these immigrants who are having to work, 100 hours a week. But some say they were being undercut by the immigrants who were willing to work 100 hours a week. And they pushed it through on the pretext they were helping them. But I'll leave that to the pundits. The point is, the Lochner era was 30 years of the U.S. Supreme Court striking down government regulations as violating substantive due process.